Welcome to the weekly market review. Here we'll talk about all things in the mortgage world, in the real estate world, in the rate world. Just bringing you updates on anything that's really going to change and drive either a buyer's market or a seller's market, and kind of look at current trends. This week we're going to take a look at rates, and we're going to take a look at the softness of the market as far as buyers go. We always get the first question. It's always rates, and it's always where we'll probably start each week because it does dictate what buyers are going to pay. So kind of take a look. Fed met last week and decided no change. So what does that mean overall for the market? Well, let's take a look at what actually has occurred here over the last month. So the Fed met here on the 18th and announced that they weren't changing anything, and the market decided it liked it, and rates dropped a little bit and turned around and climbed back up for the rest of the week and ended up at 4.32 today on Tuesday. So how does that look kind of for the entire week? Well, we started, we ended, we're about the same place we were before. That's what you would expect with no change in the Fed fund rate. Now, we can kind of take a look at how this 10-year and the Fed fund rate, how it kind of compares to mortgages over the lifetime. Because we can see here the 10 years 4.32, Fed fund rate is sitting at 4.25 to 4.5. So how does that compare to mortgages who are running, somewhere around 6.7, 6.75 in the past? Well, we'll pull up this chart here. And we could see back in the good times in the 20s, 21, where you could sell anything to anyone because everybody had money and rates were low. You still see that the Fed funds were near zero and mortgage rates were still running, anywhere from, some people low as 2-3% on average until we got to, 2022. Fed started tightening a little bit, raising rates. And of course, mortgage rates went up with it, and everything makes sense, right? Low rates, Fed rate goes up, mortgage rates go up, Fed rate stays flat for 18 months, mortgage rates kind of capitulate, go up to a high of 8%. 2023, that's when everybody started looking for new jobs in the mortgage industry and in real estate because nothing was moving. And we didn't get much excitement, even though we got a full point reduction in about 3 months for the mortgage rates, all the way down to, just below 7, which is kind of where we're sitting today. So all these buyers that set out in all of 2024, waiting on rates to drop, waiting on home prices to drop, really they got no reward out of this. So they've set out the entire time just to be in the exact same market they were before. So what do you tell people now? The Fed has announced maybe 2 more cuts this year. And from there, maybe we move a quarter of a point, maybe we move a half a point, but you don't really know. As we've seen before, you can see anything happen. Flat rates go up, cuts went up. So it's hard to really tell somebody to wait for a quarter point or a half a point when you look at the big picture. If you're buying a $100,000 home, which I know they don't exist in our market, but a quarter of a point isn't going to change your payment more than $20. So you're not going to buy the home you want over $20 per 100,000. I don't think that that's going to justify setting out and not having the home that you're looking for. Last thing I'll share here real quick and kind of look at what the market is doing for buyers. It says housing markets in Florida and Texas are so weak that builder Lennar spent the most on buyers incentives since 2009. So 13% of their home price was spent on attracting buyers. So the article says for a $400,000 house, they were spending $52,000 in giveaways, whether that's seller credits, whether that's buying down rates for folks, whether that's down payment assistance, whatever they could do to get money into people's pockets to make things affordable. And if we don't know, we just kind of scroll down to the bottom here. Lennar, second largest home builder in the country behind D.R. Horton. And anytime that you see the biggest people in the industry needing to make concessions that big, that just lets you know that we're pretty much in the buyer's market currently. We can see that their gross margin has went down. They also lowered the price. Their price declined 1% from last year, their asking price. So across the board, everything's a little softer for them than it has been. What does that mean for your market? It probably means if you're in Florida or Texas or other big Lennar markets, you're going to be in a little softer market as well. So again, Lennar, they do choose, as it says, they choose volume over margins. They want to get everything out the door. Of course, they still want to make as much money as they can, just like everyone else. They haven't seen any impacts from tariffs and nothing from immigration as far as lack of workers or increased costs from that. This article came from Fast Company. You can kind of just do a Google search for Lennar housing, and you can come up with this article. How does that affect you knowing that? Well, if you know you have a home and you're competing in this market against Lennar's new homes, then we're definitely going to have to make sure that your home is priced in a manner that you can compete with that market. So, kind of a soft overall market. That's kind of a good thing if you have buyers. But if you're a listing agent, you're going to run into some difficulty getting full price. I will say that most loans are coming across with seller concessions currently. So if that's not something that your buyer is open to, be sure you price that into your price, because most things, as we've seen, either you're reducing price below asking or you're giving concession or both. All right, we'll catch back up with you next week. If you need anything, feel free to give me a call. The number's on the screen. And if you have any applicants, be sure to send them my way. We'll talk to you next week.